Assalamualaikum and very good morning to San Juan Muhammad Ashraf and to my fellow friends. My name is Nur Azmina binti Abdul Latif and my ID number is 012022021174 and I am from Bachelor in Islamic Finance, which is from the FBMP department. So today in Kawaid Fiqhiyah presentation, I will present about the Islamic legal maxims in contemporary Muamalat practice. So this is the content that we will discuss later, which is introduction, contents, and conclusion. So for the introduction, it will include with definition, types, and history. So firstly, we will discuss about the maxim that I choose, which is Al-Mashaqqah Tajlub Al-Taysir, and which is hardship begets facility, and Umur Bi Maqasadiha, matters are determined according to intention. So, sorry. Okay, so the definition of for Al-Mashaqqah Tajlub Al-Taysir, which is hardships beget facility. According to the linguist, etymologist, Al-Mashaqqah refers to the tiredness, difficulty, toughness, and hardship. Sorry. Tajlib implies bringing and presenting, whereas Al-Taysir means ease. Hence, the meaning of Al-Mashaqqah Tajlub Al-Taysir is that hardship brings convenience. The meaning is that when there are reasons for difficulties and hardship for mukallaf, legal subjects, in worship, then Sharia lightened it so that the mukallaf can implement it without difficulty and hardship. So actually, there are two types in these maxims. So firstly is al-darurat to be al-mazurat. Necessity renders prohibited things permissible. This suggests that prohibited acts may be carried out under extreme circumstances if there are no other options. For example, a person may take prohibited food in order to survive in an emergency if there is no other food is available. For the second type is iza daga ittasa, where a matter is narrow, it becomes wide. In the event of difficulty, some latitude should be allowed. This means that where there appears to be difficulty in any given situation, latitude and indulgence must be granted. So actually, the history from for these maxims is this evidence has been utilized by jurists to defend the numerous concessions made to the disabled and sick in the realms of religious responsibilities, as well as modern financial transactions. The maxim hardships beget facility is a rephrasing of Quranic verse that state God intends for you ease and he does not intend to put it in a hardship, which is we can see from the 2 verse 185, and God does not intend to inflict hardship on you, which is from the Quran verse 5:6. So next we will discuss about the Umur Bi Maqasadiha. Matters are determined according to intention. So the definition for this maxim is, this maxim emphasizes that any action, whether physical or verbal, should be considered in light of the doer's intentions. In Islam, intention, which is we call it niyah, is a crucial in all actions. An action that may be good apparently, but done with bad intention, will be judged by God and on the day of judgment, and will be punished. On the contrary, if someone means to do a good deed but mistakenly does some harm while doing it, he will be forgiven. So this maxim only have one type, which is in contracts, effect is given to intention and meaning and not words and forms, which is this maxim state that if there is a difference between the intention and the other expression in contract interpretation, the judgment will be in accordance with the intention to the extent that it can be determined. The history part for this maxis is from the Quranic verse. We can see that those who wish for return from worldly affairs, we will give them to you. And those who wish for return in hereafter, we will give the share of hereafter. From Ali Imran 145 Quranic verse. And from Hadith, these are judged by intention, and every person is judged according to his intention, narrated by the Umar radiallahu anha. And the second is there is no deeds to those who have no intention, narrated by Anas radiallahu anha. So second, we will discuss about contents from these two major maxims. So these contents will include importance of Islamic legal maxims, application, and relation between application and importance. So importance of Islamic legal maxim from the major maxim Al-Mashaqqah Tajlub Al-Taysir, Hardship Begets Facility, from the Hardy 2019, discovered that about the norms of Al-Mashaqqah Tajlub Al-Taysir and its link to daily economic activity, particularly in the Islamic economy, whereas one of the main factors in the development and design of Islamic Muamalat activity is the foundation of akid fit with various sort of laws under it. For the major maxim of Umur Bi Maqasadiha, matters are determined according to intention. From the perspective of Islamic banking, this is one of the most important principles, as there has been much criticism of Islamic banking products and processes being similar to or imitations of conventional banking offerings. But the most significant difference is the intention, wherein the products are intended to avoid riba or interest in transactions, despite all the similarities. So, the application of Islamic legal maxim from the Al-Mashaqqah Tajul Al-Taysir hardship begets facility. Firstly is which is by as-salam. So, what is a by as-salam? By as-salam is a deferred delivery contract in which the commodity is delivered at a later date in exchange for an advance price that is completely paid at spot. The buyer passes the price risk to the seller through this contract, while the seller transfers the business risk to the buyer through assured quantity and quality supply of output at a predetermined date and location. The primary goal of this selling contract was to address the demands of small farmers who needed money to cultivate their crops and feed their families till harvest. So there are three banks that I include here that use the buy as salam contract, which is Bank Islamic, Bank Rakyat, and Agro Bank. So relation between application and importance contributes to economic well-being by resolving one party's financial problems and satisfying a buyer's requirement once the asset or commodity is delivered. The contract also allows for huge economic operations, as salam contract typically involve large sum of money. It also requires one side to put up a significant amount of economic trust between the fund provider and the party delivering the asset or commodity. The application for the Umur Bi Maqasadiha matters are determined according to intention. I choose takwid. So, takwid is a fine agreed upon by the contracts parties as compensation that can be collected by the creditor, the financier, when the debtor consumer fails or delay in performing its commitment to settle the loan. A technique employed in Malaysia to protect Islamic bank from disadvantage, and there is a precedent in Mazhab Hanafi that allows for a punishment when any side suffers a disadvantage. Majma' Fiqh al-Islami also firmly agrees to allow the use of al-shart al-jazai or penalty clauses in businesses. So this is the among bank that use ta'wid in their contracts, which is Bank Islam, Maybank Islamic, and Public Islamic Bank. So what is the relation between application and important is first, with minimal demand for new and creative contracts, risk mitigation was done on a small scale. And the aim and wisdom is that the parties should be held accountable upon entering into a contract. And if they are not, they should be penalized materially for their ignorance and irresponsibility. For the conclusion from our study is the study demonstrate. I'm sorry, I can see. The study demonstrates that the Islamic financial system has been intimately linked to various sorts of transactions available in Islamic legal theory in general and in Islamic legal maxim for financial transaction in particular. However, present Islamic financial methods may have been met with criticism because they do not provide a completely established alternative model to the conventional system. Due to the competitive pressures, legal limits and customer expectation, Islamic financial practice today frequently strive to emulate conventional ones in a variety of ways. In doing so, they lose several of the benefits and strength which would come from following the spirit of Islamic legal maxim more closely. So those Islamic scholars involved in Islamic finance also in must understand the conceptual and implementation aspect of the instrument used in a financial transaction in order to determine the legality or compliance of financial instrument with Sharia. Okay, that's all from me for my presentation. Thank you.